Paper plate animals are one of the things that actually allow for so much creativity in our kiddos. In your box, you have a template for a shark, a turtle, and a fish. All of these supplies can be used and more. So try not to limit the creativity when creating this project. I'm gonna show you the cut lines for the 3 animals that are in your box, but there are lots of really simple tutorials online, whether it's on Pinterest or even just Google Images to create other animals. You can also very easily allow your kiddos to make monsters or aliens or self-portraits, all using a paper plate as a base. The first animal that I'm going to show you how to cut is the turtle. In your box, you've got a template for the legs, the head, and the tail. I just drew them out on green construction paper to make my life a little bit easier. And all you have to do is cut these little pieces out, and then you'll glue them to the base of your turtle. As you can see, I just attached the 4 legs and the head and little tail to the turtle. And then for this one, I just am gonna use some cut up construction paper to do the back of the turtle. If you're working on a specific letter, you could encourage your kiddo to make a T on the back of the turtle if you're studying the letter T, or if you're doing patterns, you could ask them to alternate the patterns on the back of the turtle, or they could just be creative and have lots of fun. You could always use paint on the back here, you could use markers, or use glue and construction paper cut up, or you could use your tissue paper. There's lots of options. Also included in your box are these cute little sticky eyes. This is a super easy way to complete your turtle with their little sticky eyes. For the shark, all of the pieces you need to create the shark shape can be cut out of one paper plate. I just drew a little arc on the bottom, and I'm gonna cut that out. And then you can just snip off the little edges to be your fins. Little triangle out of this middle part. To be the top of the shark. Then all you're gonna need to do with this is you'll glue your little shark fin up top here, and you'll glue your little swimming fins out here, and you are ready to go to paint your shark. I decided for the shark that I was gonna use some blue paint to paint the background of mine. You could always use markers or blue construction paper. Once this paint is covered over the entire shark, you are going to want to set it aside to dry before you try and glue anything onto it. I figured while I had the paint out from painting the shark, I would show you another technique that there's a link to, the straw painting for the monsters. This is a super easy technique. I'm gonna use it to paint the background of the fish. All you need is some paint and some water. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix these paint colors with water and then use the dropper to drop paint onto the paper plate, and then use our straw to blow it around to make a pattern. With an activity like this straw painting, you always want to try and pick complementary colors. So like with the pink, purple, and blue here, you can see it doesn't really matter where the pink and the purple and the blue mix, because the pink and the blue would make the purple. But it's always fun to experiment too with whatever colors your kiddos pick. While we're waiting for our plate to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the half circle and the teeth out for the shark's eyes. I think if I were doing this with my kiddos, I would probably cut little triangles for the teeth, and that way they can place their own shark teeth in. But I'm gonna start by making sure that my white and my black paper have a similar dimension. And that way the basis for my teeth will all fit when I glue them together on my shark. So if that's the shark's big open mouth, it might be a little bit big. I think I'm gonna make it a little smaller. And as you can see, we can just test. There we go, a big shark mouth. And then I'm gonna use this piece to cut the jig-jaggy teeth for the big shark's open mouth. Like I said, you can always feel free to cut these apart into smaller segments or let your kids work on the scissor skills to cut them apart and then glue them down onto the shark. You can use our sticker eyes if you want to use your sticker eyes for the shark eyes, and you are good to go. One of my absolute favorite books growing up and to read even to Lawton today is The Rainbow Fish. So I was gonna use our tissue paper to make scales, and I grabbed a little bit of aluminum foil from our kitchen, and I was gonna cut one extra special sparkly scale for us to use in this project. So now that we've cut out some tissue paper, some construction paper, and one special sparkly aluminum foil scale, our background isn't quite dry yet. That's okay. I also cut out some eyeballs. Again, here you could use your sticker eye if you wanted, but I wanted the eye to be a little bit bigger. And the next step is going to be cutting the fish shape out of the paper plate. This is probably the easiest one to do. All you have to do is cut a triangle out, and that triangle becomes the mouth of your fish. You flip it around and it's going to become the tail. The last step of this project is just gluing your scales down in rows. You can alternate using the tissue paper and using the construction paper. You just want to make sure that you hide that special rainbow fish scale in there somewhere. So here are some of the completed animals that we created. Our sea turtle, our shark, and our rainbow fish. Another cool supply that's in this box, I think I mentioned it earlier, are these multicolored labels. This is another place that you could use them, creating patterns, I don't know, on the turtle. They'd be kind of cool if you wanted to add, you know, green dots on your brown construction paper and you didn't want to have to cut out a bunch of little dots and use the glue. It's a great application. Maybe some yellow on the green. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Have fun with it. Be creative and explore.